when shit hits the fan and things get hard, how are you gonna react? How are you gonna adapt? Last night, my fiance and I were watching this reality TV show, and this woman in like her early 30s made a comment about how her therapist told her that if she wanted to be a wife, she should start acting like a wife. And her response to that was, why would I act like a wife if I'm not a wife yet? And immediately my fiance looked at me and made a comment about like, she would be a nightmare for you, or I bet you feel a certain way about that. And it's true, like I'm pretty ingrained and confident in my dating philosophy at this point. And I mean, clearly I'm biased because it's worked for me, but I understand making somebody earn those wife qualities. I know a lot of girls who just act like a wife out the gate, and then they don't really get respected by the guy because he doesn't really have to do anything to earn that. But on the same token, there are women that want to be treated like a wife and they want to be taken seriously and have serious long-term relationships, but then they don't act that way. You have to show that you have those qualities that would make you a good wife in the first place. And I was thinking about this when it comes to my fiance. Why did I pick her? And I thought about how she's confident, but not in the way that you would generally think. There's two types of confidence, right? There's the look at me, very shiny, center of attention type of confidence that has some arrogance and some cockiness to it. And then there's a confidence that's silent. It's very humble. It's about respecting yourself, valuing yourself and knowing your worth, and being very confident in your ability. And the big difference between those two types of confidence is that one is a confidence for other people and the other is a confidence for yourself. And that's how some of the most attractive and confident and witty people end up in this addiction, this validation loop where it's all about what do other people think about me and how many likes and how many followers do I have? And it's a draining life. And the other confidence is more secure, more humble. It's about knowing your worth and having confidence in yourself versus, trying to get that validation and that value and that worth from other people. My fiance is so confident in her ability. She's so hardworking. She takes care of herself. She is one of the most caring people that I've ever been around. And all those qualities translate to so many different areas of life. She loves me so much, but she also has this confidence in herself and knows what she's capable of, that she doesn't need me, but chooses me. And it's the same way with me to her. Like we know what we bring to the table, and it's about being partners and being a team and what kind of world, what kind of family can we create. And I, without a doubt, know that she is going to be an incredible mother because all the things that she does are going to carry over to that. She's so caring, she's so patient, she's so intelligent, and we complement each other so well. This next part's going to be a little bit controversial, but there's this concept on the internet known as beautiful mid. And most guys that have been dating probably understand what I'm saying without me even having to explain it. But there are women out there who men would label as hot or sexy, and they look stunning, but then you talk to them and it's their entire personality trait. They grew up being the pretty person. They were popular. They got all the attention. They were never told no. But you quickly realize that there's not a lot underneath the surface. There's not a lot of deep emotional conversations that you can have and intelligent conversations that you can have. And it speaks more to the overall well-roundedness of a person and what other qualities they have. Proverbs 31 gets quoted a lot, and rightfully so, because it really is the blueprint for what a wife should be and what you should look for or what you should embody. But the part that's quoted the most is beauty may fade, but a woman that loves the Lord will be praised. And it's true. When you're 70, you're not going to look like how you do when you're 22. And that's why that whole thing of, we're going to grow fat and old together is such a funny but true concept, because when you're sitting on your rocking chair and your kids are all grown up and, off with their own families, like you need to like the person that you're spending the rest of your life with. And my fiance is my best friend. I tried to tell women in my life that you shouldn't act like a wife, but you should show that you're capable of being a wife. You should like the person that you're with and enjoy the time you spend with them without sex being involved at all. Like that should be the last thing, because when you're both working and you have a couple of kids and you're lucky to get one date night in a month, it's going to get pretty hard. And if your entire relationship is built on sexual chemistry and good banter, sure, it'll be fun for a while, but when shit hits the fan and things get hard, how are you going to react? How are you going to adapt? Are you a good team? Can you handle that kind of pressure? My advice in this video, starting with the men, is act like a husband. Show that you can be a leader, that you're emotionally and physically secure and take care of yourself and will take care of her and take care of your children, and that you're going to be a fantastic father. Always be growing, always be learning, always be getting better. And make sure that you love the person that you're with outside of sex. Like, you should be physically attracted to the person that you're with, but you should be able to talk for hours about life, to have intelligent and emotional conversations, and to just laugh. So much of relationships, the best part of relationships is the nuances and little intricacies of just how they laugh at your stupid jokes. Just how when they smile, your heart lights up. That's the kind of thing that you should be looking for. You should want somebody who's well-rounded, who's going to take care of your kids, who's going to be an emotional anchor for you, somebody who supports your aspirations and your goals and is going to help you achieve them, not bring you down. And for the women, yes, make them earn those wifely qualities, but also show that you're capable of being a wife. Actions speak louder than words. And if you just want to go out and booze and party and have the tits out, that's your MO. But then don't expect guys to turn around and be like, that's my wife. And I know that we have such a cheating subcontext to our dating culture, and somebody who needs validation from other people and the validation from me isn't enough, that's likely going to cause problems in the relationship. That's just a reasonable risk assessment. And most men are going to avoid taking that risk. If you're confident in yourself and the only validation you need is from yourself and your person, then the odds of that relationship being a lot more secure is astronomical. So yeah, stop doing all of those red flag things. Trust is so important in a relationship. And if you can't even just provide that and the respect to the relationship, then everything else after that is in question. And I'm not telling you to be the Virgin Mary, but protect sex, protect your body, protect yourself. Because a lot of people just want a cheap trip. They just want to have fun and they're not serious. And they'll say whatever they can to get to that point. And it's really important to know if you like that person before all of that comes into play, because that's not always going to be part of the equation. And that goes for guys and girls. And if you're a guy and you're worried that not pushing for sex is going to make you seem insecure or not confident, have that conversation. Be upfront about that. Talk about how you don't want to be physical up front, that you don't want to make sex the centerpiece of your relationship because you want a stable relationship. You want a long-term relationship. You're looking for a lifelong partner, a wife, and that you want to know that you love every bone in their body and you love just being present with them and hanging out with them without sex even in the equation. Women don't ever hear that. And if they don't respect that, then that's probably a red flag anyways. But you need to know that this is the person for you. If you love everything else about them, then like when you do get intimate, that's just the cherry on top, right? I'm saying there's so much more to a relationship than that. And trying to be a good wife, trying to be a good husband is so important. And yes, there's a level of earning it, but there's also a level of showing what you're capable of. It's time to change the way that we think about dating because clearly it's not working for so many people out there. I get it. It's a struggle. I was there. I'm close to so many people who are in that fight right now, and it's not fun. But date with intention because your kids are counting on you. The future you is counting on you. That version of you that's 70 years old on the front porch in the rocking chair with their wife is counting on you to like your wife, because forever is a long time, guys. Let's do it the right way.